the rocky Argila Ranges in northwest Queensland. A vast, rugged, hot, dry region. A lonely, sparsely settled land. A land of scant red soil, spinifex, and ant hills built not by ants, but by myriads of industrious termites. But it is a rich land, a land of immense cattle stations and great mineral wealth. In the Cloncurry district in 1867, copper and gold deposits were discovered and later mined. Today, many of those old diggings are operated by gougers. Then, in 1923, a major lead-zinc deposit was found. Mount Isa Mines Limited came into existence the following year. Today, this largest Australian mine is too well known to need further description. In 1954, between Mount Isa and Cloncurry, Norman McConaughey and John Walton, members of a prospecting syndicate of 9, discovered a great uranium deposit. Immediately, they staked a claim, which they called Mary Kathleen after Mr. McConaughey's deceased wife. The Rio Tinto Mining Company of Australia optioned Mary Kathleen, developed a large tonnage of uranium ore, and in 2.5 years created this now famous mining enterprise. Today, the ore body in the open cut yields about 5,000 tons of rock a day, from which uranium oxide is extracted for supply to the British government. The benches are 25 feet high and rise 350 feet from the base of the original hill. Preparing the charges for blasting is one of the most important jobs in the open cut. Noon, 4 p.m., 8 p.m. and midnight are blasting times. Extracting the rock is a big task, but made easier by modern heavy equipment. The crude ore is taken to the processing plant, which covers an area of 10 acres. One of the most important sections of the processing buildings is the acid plant, for here is manufactured sulfuric acid from crude sulfur stockpiled close by. Sulfuric acid is used to dissolve uranium from the finely ground ore. The crude ore is dumped into the primary crusher and starts its long journey through many and varied and complicated mechanical and chemical processes. The electronic sorter, which removes waste rock from the ore stream, is only the second of its kind in the world and has been described by scientists as a practical application of 20th century metallurgy. point where the ore is blasted from the open cut to the point in the process where the uranium oxide is finally produced requires the services of 380 men and women, including many new Australians. A further 70 people operate the company's town of Kathleen. Now at last, the final product, uranium oxide, rolls off the filters. After being dried, it is packed into 44-gallon drums ready for shipment to the United Kingdom. Several times each month, the drums full of the much-wanted uranium oxide are trucked to Cloncurry, the nearest railhead, and start their long journey to Great Britain. But let's take the 4-mile drive to Kathleen town, which was built some distance from the open cut in order to give the people a pleasant, clean and beautiful place in which to live and relax. The houses were built on an east-west line for coolness, and all have electricity and refrigerators, while many are air-conditioned. In planning the town, practically all native trees were left standing, while hundreds of exotic shrubs, plants and trees have since been cultivated. Many of the 1,200 people living in Kathleen like to lunch or while away an idle hour on the beautiful town square. Wisely, it is forbidden to destroy flora. And there are no meters, no parking problems, or traffic officers here. The square contains the post office, 2 banks, the canteen, the dining room, the barber's shop, and other public offices, besides the community store, which is company-owned and staffed. Here one can buy almost as great a variety of goods as the old-time needle-to-an-anchor shop. Beneath the cool veranda outside the store, people gather to relax, listen to one of the top 10, or to practice a few steps of rock and roll. And after work is finished, probably the most popular place in the town square is the cool beer garden. Now let's take a drive to look at some of the homes and gardens. In 1950, Peter Williamson migrated from Hull, England. A plumber by trade, gardening is a hobby he shares with his Australian wife, while their daughter Glenda plays happily with a little mate. It's hard to realize these beautiful streets and gardens have been cultivated on land that, a short 5 years ago, was as rocky and parched as the surrounding hills. Kathleen has often been referred to as a model town. Perhaps it is. But mainly, it's an example of what may be done in the great Australian inland by careful planning and maintenance, a generous tree planting program, and, most of all, an unlimited water supply. With ample water, the red soil of northwest Queensland will grow successfully a surprising variety of excellent vegetables. Here, all the community's vegetables, poultry and eggs, and most of its fruit are produced in the company's 29-acre plantation. Citrus fruits grow particularly well. With an average noon winter temperature of 75 degrees, Mary Kathleen is a healthy place. But for those who do fall ill, the 6-bed hospital, staffed by nurses from the Australian Inland Mission and a resident doctor, provides an excellent medical service. To date, more than 200 babies have had their first glimpse of Australia from here. As the hospital guards the physical welfare of the people, so the two churches provide necessary spiritual help and comfort. Walton Park is always a favorite picnic spot on Sunday afternoons. Now let's fly over Lake Corella, one of the company's 2 sources of water supply. Water is the lifeblood of the mine and community. With this in mind, the company constructed 2 large reservoirs which hold 7,000 million gallons of water and thus ensure continuity of supply under the most extreme drought conditions. Incidentally, the average annual rainfall is 17 inches, most of which falls in the summer months. The board of directors of Mary Kathleen Uranium Limited has wisely made all the company's property a sanctuary, so that the many birds and mammals which make their home here live and breed unmolested by man. By the way, Lake Corella was named after the popular Corella parrot, which was formerly found here in great numbers. But from birds to boys, the five-teacher school is one of the few in Queensland which is air-conditioned. Usually, there are about 190 children in attendance. And some of the students have distinguished themselves with outstanding passes. Nearby is the fine open-air theatre, where motion pictures are shown 4 nights weekly, and sometimes after school, concerts are also held here.
Nor any unproportioned thought is left. These are familiar, but by no means false.
Just across the way, the excellent sports ground is crowded each weekend with spectators watching a sports meeting, a football, hockey or cricket match being played against a team from a neighbouring town. For the not-so-young, the bowling green gives many pleasant hours of good fellowship and exercise. Visitors are amazed when told this well-grassed surface 3 years back was nothing but rocks, parched red soil and spinifex. And the golf club has already constructed grass fairways and greens from most unlikely golfing country. Oh, great putt. And so ends another happy day of recreation. But before we leave, let's look from the air on the mine and plant which made all this development possible. How different they look from way up here. And notice how the plant was built close to the open cut to save transport costs. Notice, too, the way the town nestles in amongst the wild Argila ranges, which have changed but little over the centuries, and where once the warlike Kalkadoon Aborigines held their barbaric corroborees. This, then, is the unique story of Mary Kathleen, a modern mining settlement where people work, live and play in an isolated, forbidding land, under conditions that would be the envy of most people working in an industrial city. And if Mary Kathleen McConaughey could today look on the trim little settlement that perpetuates her name, surely she too would be well pleased with what she saw.